Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We are plunging headfirst into the fascinating history and profound, sometimes downright surprising impact of something you likely tap, swipe, or send every single day: emojis. Just take a moment and think about it. These seemingly simple little pictures, they've done so much more than just change how we text. They've fundamentally altered how we express ourselves. They're effortlessly bridging cultures across continents, and in many ways, they're quietly creating a truly global visual language right before our eyes. It's an evolution in communication that has happened so rapidly, many of us barely registered its magnitude. Our mission today, as always, is to give you that shortcut to being truly well informed about this pervasive visual phenomenon. We're going to uncover their intriguing origins in Japan, trace their incredible journey across the globe, and reveal some surprising cultural implications and psychological insights you might never have considered. Expect those genuine aha moments, some unexpected facts that will make you rethink your daily interactions, and, just enough humor to keep you hooked, all without feeling overwhelmed by the sheer, ever-expanding volume of this unique digital lexicon. So let's jump right in and decode the world of emojis. Okay, let's unpack this journey because, like so many groundbreaking technological innovations that quietly shape our daily lives, our story actually begins in Japan, specifically in the late 1990s. This is where we first encounter a true visionary, the designer credited with creating the very first set of emojis, Shigetaka Kurita.
Right. And what's truly compelling here is the context of Kurita's work. He wasn't working for, like, a global tech giant as we understand them today, but for Docomo.
Docomo, yeah, a Japanese mobile phone operator.
Exactly, a pioneering one. And this detail isn't just a footnote. It really points to Japan being an extraordinarily fertile ground for this kind of innovation. Japanese culture has this deep-seated appreciation for concise visual communication. You see it in their pictorial symbols, calligraphy, even things like haiku.
Very visual.
Yeah, and couple this with Japan's rapid technological advancement in mobile communication back then, especially the early adoption of mobile internet. Well, the stage was just perfectly set for something like emojis to emerge. They felt like a natural extension of how people wanted to communicate efficiently and, expressively on these tiny screens.
And Kurita's design approach, looking back, it was absolutely brilliant in its simplicity, yet incredibly effective. He wasn't just sketching random ideas, was he?
No, not at all. He drew heavy inspiration from two distinctly Japanese art forms: manga and anime.
Ah, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Right. If you think about it, both manga and anime are inherently visual, incredibly expressive. They frequently use simplified, iconic imagery to convey a whole range of emotions and concepts really quickly.
Like those exaggerated expressions, the sweat drops for nervousness.
Exactly. Or the little puffs of smoke for anger, the blush lines for embarrassment. All of these were powerful precursors to the visual shorthand that emojis would later embody.
So the aesthetic of these early emojis must have directly reflected that inspiration.
Oh, absolutely. They were remarkably simple, often constrained to a tiny grid, just 12 by 12 pixels.
12 by 12, that's tiny. How do you even convey emotion in that?
Exactly. Imagine trying to convey a complex emotion or a distinct object in merely 144 dots. It was a severe technical limitation, but paradoxically, it forced this incredible economy of line and color. Designers had to distill concepts down to their absolute essence. So you got a basic heart, a rudimentary smiley face, a clear weather icon.
Clarity was everything.
Paramount, ensuring that even with such limited resolution, the intended message was unmistakable. And this foundational simplicity, born out of necessity, really, rather than just choice, is perhaps why they resonated so deeply, so quickly. It sort of inadvertently pushed designers toward universal, almost primal visual cues, which likely contributed significantly to their rapid cross-cultural adoption later on. Simplicity became their superpower, you could say.
And initially, this revolutionary visual language was primarily used within Japan, right? A local sensation.
That's right.
But it didn't stay local for long, did it? We pretty quickly saw its rapid spread to other Asian countries.
China, South Korea, with their own burgeoning mobile markets and actually similar cultural inclinations towards visual communication. They picked up on the trend fast.
So this rapid regional adoption wasn't just a fleeting fad. It signaled their early, undeniable appeal.
Absolutely. It proved that this wasn't just some niche Japanese thing, but something with broader regional resonance. It tapped into a shared human desire for more expressive digital communication.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? How quickly seemingly niche trends, especially in digital communication, can gain such strong regional traction. laying the groundwork for something even bigger.
It absolutely does. And that initial regional success wasn't just about the tech moving across borders. It really demonstrated this inherent human need for this kind of visual shorthand in digital talk. Before there was even a whisper of global standards, the intuitive nature of these symbols just clicked across diverse Asian cultures. It proved their immediate usefulness, their emotional power.
They filled a gap.
Exactly, a gap that plain text just couldn't fill.
Yeah.
They offered a whole new dimension of expressiveness.
Okay, here's where the story truly shifts gears and gets, well, really fascinating. How did these regional curiosities, these little Japanese pixelated symbols, transform into the worldwide phenomenon we know today? The tipping point, as with so many digital innovations, seems to come down to widespread platform adoption. It was the crucial role played by the major tech platforms like Apple and Google, embracing and integrating emojis into their operating systems, their keyboards, that truly launched them onto the global stage.
And what's often overlooked here is the, let's say, strategic brilliance of these tech giants in accelerating that global spread.
Yeah.
And essentially setting a de facto standard before a formal one even existed.
How so?
Well, when Apple first introduced an emoji keyboard in iOS initially, just for Japanese users back in 2008, it wasn't just adding a feature, it was acknowledging this powerful new form of communication. Then, when they expanded it to the rest of the world in 2010, they basically opened the floodgates.
Right.
This widespread implementation by Apple, quickly followed by Google and others, provided the visibility, the accessibility needed for emojis to cross linguistic and national borders at this unprecedented pace. Their decision didn't just add a feature, it validated a whole new language.
Was a real game changer.
Yeah.
The definitive moment that cemented emojis as a truly universal digital language, that was a pivotal decision made in 2011, wasn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely critical.
The Unicode Consortium, which honestly many people might not even realize exists as this quiet but powerful force behind all digital text. They stepped in and added emojis to the Unicode Standard. For our listener, can you maybe elaborate on what Unicode actually is and why its standardization was such an indispensable step for true global adoption, for interoperability?
Absolutely, yeah. The Unicode Consortium's role cannot be overstated. Think of Unicode as the universal DNA, okay? The underlying blueprint for all digital text characters. Before Unicode standardization, sending, say, a heart emoji from an iPhone to an Android, well, it was like trying to speak two different dialects of an alien language.
Right. You'd get the dreaded square box or just
Right,
nothing.
exactly. You might see a different symbol, a broken box, nothing at all, because each device had its own proprietary character encoding system. Unicode solved this. It assigned a unique, consistent number to every single character, symbol, and emoji across all languages and platforms.
Ah, okay. So one code, one symbol everywhere. Precisely.
Yeah.
So when emojis were added to the Unicode standard, it meant that a heart emoji sent from an iPhone would appear as the same recognizable heart emoji on an Android phone, a Windows computer, a Linux system, any Unicode-compliant device. This interoperability was, well, it was nothing short of critical. Without it, emojis would have remained fragmented, platform-specific curiosities stuck in their walled gardens. Unicode made them truly universal. It allowed billions of people to communicate visually without worrying if their message would be understood or even displayed correctly. It seamlessly connected these little pictures to the bigger picture of global digital communication standards. Made them foundational, not just a fad.
And what an explosion of content we've seen since then. Today, we have, what is over 3,000 emojis available.
Over 3,000, yeah. It's staggering. It's constantly growing.
It's truly incredible to think about the sheer diversity of the current emoji set. We're not just talking about simple smileys anymore, although, those are still hugely popular. Now, you can find everything from common food items representing cuisines from around the globe, like you said, a true digital global pantry.
Yeah. Sushi, tacos, curry.
To a wide array of animals, objects, professions, gestures, and even mythical creatures. Unicorns, dragons, genies.
Don't forget the zombie.
Right. It truly makes me wonder at the sheer breadth of concepts, emotions, nuanced expressions that can now be conveyed through these tiny images. From a simple "I'm hungry" to "I feel like a majestic horned horse," there's an emoji for almost everything imaginable.
And that breadth is precisely what makes them so profoundly powerful and continually relevant. The expansion of the emoji lexicon isn't just about adding new pictures for the sake of it. It's about adding new dimensions, new layers of subtlety, of humor to our digital conversations. Each new emoji reflects a growing complexity in our digital lives and our collective desire to convey ever more nuanced messages visually.
It's like a living language.
Exactly. It's a living, breathing reflection of our collective experiences, our interests, the evolving cultural landscape, and that constant human drive for richer, more expressive communication. It's like watching a new language being built in real time, one tiny icon at a time.
It really is. And it makes you think about your own most used emojis, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do those little icons say about your daily digital conversations, your current mood, your go-to expressions? They're often a snapshot of our digital selves, aren't they?
A tiny window for sure.
So if emojis have become this universal digital language, what does this all mean for how we actually interact and express ourselves day to day? Beyond just being a fun, convenient add-on to our texts, emojis have fundamentally changed how we communicate. They've really evolved into a language of their own, haven't they?
They absolutely have.
Capable of transcending mere words, adding layers of nuance, tone, clarity. Things that plain text alone often struggles to convey. It's like adding inflections and body language back into our written words.
And this raises an incredibly important and quite insightful question about the power of universal symbols in our increasingly globalized world. What's truly insightful here is how the iconic simplicity of emojis allows them to bypass the deep linguistic and cognitive frameworks that make verbal translation so complex. They tap into a more primal visual understanding.
So it's not just translation.
No, it's like a parallel communication channel. It operates on fundamentally different, often pre-linguistic principles. Emojis have indeed bridged countless cultural divides, enabling people to communicate effectively across different languages and national borders. Where words might fail or be easily misinterpreted because of linguistic or cultural differences, idioms, tone, grammar nuances, a universally understood emoji can effortlessly convey a tone, an emotion, even a complex concept.
Like a thumbs up or a heart.
Exactly. Or the crying laughing face. These carry immense emotional weight and are understood almost everywhere. They bypass the need for direct translation and significantly reduce the risk of misunderstanding the underlying sentiment. The aha moment here is realizing that a simple smiley face might actually be a far more accurate global sentiment indicator than a perfectly translated phrase, precisely because it avoids all that baggage of grammar, idiom, and syntax.
And their influence, believe it or not, goes far beyond just simple person-to-person communication. Emojis have seeped into broader culture in truly surprising and pervasive ways. We're seeing them impact the high art world. Emoji-inspired exhibitions, installations popping up in galleries, public spaces worldwide.
Artists are using them as a new medium.
Yeah, like a contemporary hieroglyphic system to comment on modern life, satirize norms, or just create visually compelling works that tap into our shared digital vocabulary. Imagine a sculpture made of hundreds of different emoji faces, reflecting the spectrum of human emotion.
Or a digital art piece using emoji sequences to tell a complex narrative. It's happening. And it's absolutely true. The influence doesn't stop at art. Emojis have even found their way into the world of high fashion.
Seriously, fashion.
Oh yes. Designers are boldly incorporating emojis into their clothing lines, turning these digital symbols into wearable, sometimes provocative, statements. We've seen runway collections featuring everything from, say, minimalist embroidered heart eye emojis to bold, all-over prints of the crying, laughing face, or even complex narratives told through a sequence of food emojis on a garment.
That's wild.
It's a playful yet profound acknowledgement of how deeply embedded these symbols have become in our visual vocabulary and makes them ripe for both artistic and commercial interpretation. They become so universally recognizable that they function as immediate cultural touchstones. Even in these traditionally non-digital contexts, it just demonstrates their immense power as a shared symbolic language.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit further then. What do our emoji choices actually reveal about us? It's much more than just picking a pretty picture, isn't it?
Oh, much more.
When we delve into the analyses of the most used emojis, looking at big trends and individual habits, some fascinating patterns emerge. These patterns can indicate collective communication styles, individual ones too, our underlying interests, even our current emotional states.
Right, like a prevalence of laughing faces across a group might suggest a shared desire for lightheartedness, for humor in their interactions.
Or consistent use of hearts or affectionate emojis in personal messages clearly points to a strong relational focus.
Exactly. And researchers are even studying how emoji frequency and type might correlate with specific personality traits.
Really? Like what?
Well, this delves deep into the psychology of emoji use, the subconscious decisions behind which emoji you select. They serve as remarkably subtle yet potent indicators of your mood or intent in digital interactions. For example, consistently choosing a specific emoji to convey sarcasm, maybe the rolling eyes or the upside-down face, rather than typing out a long explanation. Well, that says something about your communication efficiency, maybe even your personality. You're adept at nonverbal cues.
Yeah.
Certain emojis might even correlate with personality traits. Introverts, for instance, might gravitate towards fewer expressive face emojis, perhaps more abstract symbols or objects, using emojis to add clarity without maybe oversharing emotionally.
Whereas extroverts.
Extroverts, conversely, might lean heavily into the most popular and overtly emotive ones to amplify their outgoing nature.
Mhm.
They are, in essence, little digital tells. They offer a window into our digital selves and how we choose to present our emotional landscape online.
And linking that to a really important aspect of our digital lives, mental wellness, it's absolutely fascinating to explore emojis as a powerful tool for expressing complex emotions, especially those feelings that are difficult to articulate in plain text. Sometimes finding the exact right words to describe how you're truly feeling is just hard, frustrating even.
It really is.
But a single emoji, say, the pleading face or the one with the head exploding, or even that subtle weary face, it can encapsulate that internal state almost perfectly. It offers an immediate empathetic connection without needing a long explanation.
It provides an outlet for emotions that might otherwise remain unexpressed, or worse, misunderstood.
And this brings us directly to the profound psychological impact of emojis on our mood. Both sending and receiving specific emojis can genuinely influence our emotional states and foster stronger connections.
Definitely. Imagine receiving a string of heart emojis, or maybe that celebratory confetti emoji from a loved one after sharing good news. That can genuinely uplift your spirits, create a strong sense of shared joy, shared connection.
Yeah, it feels good.
Conversely, an ambiguous or sarcastic emoji, or even an emoji used completely out of context, could cause anxiety, confusion, or even a sense of distance. They carry significant emotional weight. They allow for a kind of emotional shorthand, creating an instant sense of rapport, or, conversely, signaling potential discord in digital spaces. They provide that quick visual affirmation, empathy, even playful teasing that plain text often profoundly lacks. They act as vital nonverbal cues in a medium that's largely devoid of them.
It's a really good prompt for you, our listener, to consider. How do the emojis you send and receive? How do they either enhance or perhaps sometimes hinder your mental well-being in your digital communication? Are they truly helping you express yourself authentically, or sometimes leading to more confusion or unintended emotions? It's a powerful tool, but like any tool, its impact really depends on how consciously you use it. It's truly fascinating and, yeah, sometimes a little bit dangerous how a seemingly simple picture can mean so many different things across different cultures. We might confidently think a thumbs up emoji is universally understood as positive, right? But that's precisely where the digital waters can get unexpectedly murky.
Oh, yeah.
There's a rich, complex tapestry of cultural nuances and a significant potential for misinterpretations when it comes to emojis that really every global communicator should be aware of.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it starkly highlights the ongoing challenge of truly universal communication, even in a visual medium like this. Let's take the clapping hands emoji, for instance. In many Western cultures, it unequivocally signifies applause, appreciation, congratulations. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
However, in some Middle Eastern countries, particularly those with strong religious traditions, it can be seen as an insult or a way to dismiss someone. It's associated with expressions of anger or rebuke.
Wow, that's a complete reversal.
Complete reversal.
Yeah.
Or consider the waving hand emoji, commonly used for friendly goodbye in most places, right?
Yeah.
In China, it can sometimes be interpreted as ending a friendship, a cutting-off gesture, even a mocking dismissal, far from its intended cordiality.
Okay, good to know.
And the okay hand gesture emoji, a symbol of approval in many Western societies,
Ugh.
highly offensive and vulgar in parts of South America, the Middle East, West Africa. Even seemingly innocuous food emojis can carry cultural baggage. A pig emoji might be delightful in some cultures, but considered deeply offensive in others due to religious dietary laws. These aren't just minor differences. They can lead to significant social faux pas or even serious offense. These specific, concrete examples really underscore how a symbol's meaning isn't inherent or universal. It's profoundly culturally constructed, deeply context-dependent.
That's incredible. It truly makes you realize how careful you need to be, especially when communicating across borders. This cultural fluidity also brings us to the world's most confusing emojis. These are the ones that are frequently misinterpreted or have notoriously ambiguous meanings, even within a single culture. The person with folded hands emoji, us set, for example, that's a classic. Is it praying? Is it a high five? Is it someone pleading?
Right. Context is everything, and even then, its intent can be frustratingly unclear. Leads to a lot of double takes.
So where does that ambiguity come from?
Well, it often stems from its original design intent versus its popular adoption. In Japan, its origin, it's frequently used for please or thank you, a gesture of supplication or gratitude, but it's been widely adopted in Western contexts as pray, maybe namaste, or even begging.
Uh-huh.
Another great example is the sweat droplets emoji, originally designed to signify actual sweat, exertion, perhaps nervous tension.
Okay, seems straightforward.
But in popular culture, it has taken on a much more suggestive or even sexual connotation for many users, far removed from its intended meaning.
And the innocent eggplant emoji axis.
Yes, we all know what that became. This dynamic evolution of meaning, sometimes wildly divergent from the original intent, is a testament to the organic user-driven nature of language itself. Symbols are constantly being reappropriated, imbued with new cultural weight by the collective.
Beyond individual emoji winnings, there's also this intricate, often unwritten code, emoji etiquette.
The social rule.
No. These are the societal do's and don'ts that have subtly emerged for using emojis in various social situations. It's not always explicitly taught, but we pick it up through social cues, observation, and sometimes, yeah, through embarrassing trial and error, isn't it?
Definitely through trial and error sometimes.
What's perfectly acceptable, even expected, in an informal chat with close friends might be completely inappropriate or even unprofessional in a message to your boss or a formal client communication. I have to admit, I once sent the pleading face emoji ho to my boss thinking it conveyed genuine earnestness, asking for a deadline extension. Only realized later it can look quite, passive-aggressive.
Oh, I can see that.
Have you ever had a moment like that where an emoji completely backfired on you?
Oh, absolutely. The classic peach emoji.
Uh-huh.
Before its widely recognized suggestive meaning, it was just a beautiful piece of fruit for me. I used it innocently once in a recipe suggestion to a friend, talking about its juiciness. And let's just say the response I got was definitely not about baking.
Oh.
These considerations for different contexts are paramount. In casual family messages, group chat with friends, a profusion of emojis might be fine, even endearing, expressive. But in a serious discussion, a critical work email, formal correspondence, excessive emoji use can easily detract from the message's gravity, undermine its professionalism, even be perceived as disrespectful.
And then there are generational nuances too, right?
Huge ones. Younger demographics are often far more comfortable, more proficient with emoji use across a wider range of contexts. They integrate them seamlessly. It's part of their natural communication style. Older generations might view them as less formal, less serious, maybe even confusing. This constantly evolving etiquette is a fascinating ongoing study in digital social norms and how we signal respect and understanding.
It certainly is a minefield sometimes. And if you're sending food emojis, you're definitely not alone. Global preferences and cultural expressions are also vividly evident in the world of emojis. The exploration of food emojis, for example, perfectly reflects the incredible diversity of cultural cuisines around the world. We literally have that global pantry in symbol form.
Sushi cell, tacos, curries, croissant saw, dumplings. It showcases the universal appeal of food and how deeply it's intertwined with cultural identity. It's a culinary journey in pictogram form.
Yes, and beyond specific food items, if we look at data from the most emoji-loving countries, where global statistics and rankings by emoji use frequency are tracked, it reveals even more fascinating patterns about different national communication styles.
Yeah, that data is interesting. Countries with higher emoji usage, for instance, might indicate a cultural preference for more emotive, less formal digital interactions. Or perhaps a greater reliance on visual cues to convey sentiment, especially where brevity and efficiency are valued.
Are there specific examples?
Sure. Countries like France, Russia, the US tend to use more heart mod and romantic emojis, while Arabic-speaking countries often show higher usage of flower heart and plant emojis. These patterns aren't random. They highlight how deeply integrated these symbols have become into our daily linguistic landscape, often reflecting broader cultural tendencies in communication, emotional expression, even social hierarchy.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and often quite a bit contentious. Do emojis truly belong in professional emails and messages?
The workplace debate.
The debate on the appropriateness and effectiveness of emojis in professional communication is a lively one. Strong arguments on both sides. On one hand, they can undeniably enhance tone and clarity, especially in a digital world where written words can often sound stark, ambiguous, or even unintentionally abrupt.
True. A quick smiley face can soften a direct request, convey warmth, or express gratitude where plain text might seem cold or demanding. They can humanize communication. But, on the other hand, there's the very real concern of perceived unprofessionalism or informality. For many, particularly in more traditional industries or maybe senior roles, an emoji, even a simple one in a formal business communication, can undermine the seriousness of the message.
Reduce the sender's credibility.
Potentially, yeah. Or just be seen as a lack of formality. What's particularly fascinating here is analyzing the evolving norms of workplace communication and the significant generational divides in emoji acceptance. Younger professionals who grew up with emojis as a natural, integrated part of their communication might use them more readily. They see them as efficient, effective tools for conveying nuance.
While older generations
Might view them as a step too far into casualness, expecting a more formal text-only approach. The context of the communication, the relationship with the recipient, the specific industry, the organizational culture, they all play a significant, nuanced role in navigating this delicate balance.
So no single right answer.
No, definitely not. Just an evolving landscape of expectations.
And it's not just the workplace. Emojis have also surprisingly become potent symbols of influence in politics and social movements.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
We've seen analysis of their use in political messaging campaigns, where these small symbols can convey complex political ideas, emotions, endorsements quickly and effectively, cutting through the noise. A flag emoji a specific hand gesture like a raised fist, even a simple face with a determined expression. It can rally support, express dissent, signify allegiance in a heartbeat, often much faster than a carefully crafted sentence.
Indeed. The exploration of emojis used in social movements and activism is particularly powerful, illuminating. They become highly effective symbols of change, solidarity, resistance, often cutting through language barriers that might otherwise impede global action. A specific emoji might become instantly synonymous with a cause, allowing rapid, almost subliminal communication among activists and supporters globally.
Can you think of an example?
Well, think of movements where a raised fist emoji became a rallying point for protest, or a specific colored heart for solidarity with a particular community or cause. During global events, the Ukrainian flag emoji swatch became a powerful, widely used symbol of support. The strategic use of emojis for impact and identification in these high-stakes contexts demonstrates their surprising potency as tools for collective action, emotional expression, and instant communication of complex socio-political stances. They're not just cute pictures, they're instruments of persuasion and mobilization.
Moving into the commercial world, there's also the business of emojis. Marketers are keenly aware of their power. They've been quick to leverage them.
You bet they have.
We get consistent insights from marketers on effective emoji use in advertising, branding, showing how companies leverage these tiny icons to capture attention, convey brand personality, build rapport with consumers in a crowded digital space.
Absolutely. An emoji strategically placed in an email subject line can drastically increase open rates. Makes a message stand out in an overflowing inbox. A brand might consistently use a particular emoji, say a sparkling star E or a specific animal soy, to cultivate a fun, approachable, recognizable brand image.
Like a coffee shop using the steaming coffee cup emoji everywhere.
Exactly. Or a travel company using an airplane on. They create an immediate visual connection, an emotional resonance. Yeah. Makes the brand feel more human, more relatable, more accessible. It's a highly efficient and effective way to communicate a brand's tone, message, even its core values in a very crowded, attention-deficient digital landscape. Emojis become miniature brand ambassadors.
So after all this discussion, what's next for these little icons? Are we done evolving, or has the emoji revolution only just begun?
Oh, I think it's far from over.
The answer, it seems, is a resounding no. We're constantly getting fascinating insights from emoji designers on upcoming trends, releases, and it's a remarkably thoughtful, deliberative, often rigorous process of creating new emojis.
It's not random at all.
No, it's a careful dance, often reflecting global needs, cultural shifts, user requests.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the continuous evolution of emojis isn't just about adding new pictures. It profoundly reflects our ever-changing society and our communication needs. New experiences, emerging technologies, evolving social phenomena, global events. They all demand new ways to be expressed visually. Emoji designers working with the Unicode Consortium are constantly grappling with how to represent increasingly complex concepts, diverse identities, nuanced emotions in a small, universally understandable icon.
And that includes showcasing emerging designers, too.
Yes, showcasing emerging emoji designers and their innovative contributions. They push the boundaries of what these symbols can convey, maybe through animated forms, 3D renderings, or even more culturally specific designs.
So what might future trends look like?
Well, we can speculate. Will we see more interactive emojis? Emojis that adapt to context, perhaps more abstract, symbolic ones that allow for even broader interpretation. The future of emojis is truly a mirror to the future of human communication itself.
Thinking back, it's also incredibly interesting to look at a decade in review, trends over time, a retrospective of popular emojis and usage trends since, say, 2010. It truly illustrates how emoji popularity often mirrors broader cultural moments, fleeting fads, enduring social interests.
Absolutely. The emojis we gravitate towards reflect what's on our collective minds, from popular memes and internet humor to global events and social shifts.
Remember when the face with tears of joy was absolutely everywhere, dominating conversations?
Oh yeah, the undisputed king for a while.
It perfectly captured a certain era of digital humor, that expressive exaggeration.
It's like an archaeological dig into our recent digital past. Certain emojis peak in popularity, sometimes for years, then gradually fade as new cultural touchstones or emotional expressions emerge. The loudly crying face, for instance, gained massive traction not just for sadness, but for expressing overwhelming emotions, both genuinely distraught and hilariously exaggerated.
Right, like, I can't handle how funny this is.
Exactly. These shifts in usage and popularity are direct indicators of evolving online humor, emotional expression, even social dynamics. It makes you genuinely wonder, what emojis were once omnipresent but have now faded, and why? Their rise and fall are often miniature barometers of our shared digital consciousness, how we articulate our contemporary experience.
And the design journey itself is a whole other story, especially when you consider the intricate world of fonts and keyboards.
The rendering challenge.
We can look at a retrospective of emoji font design changes over time, discussing the aesthetic, the technical challenges involved in rendering universal symbols consistently across vastly different platforms. An emoji might look subtly different on an Apple device versus a Samsung or Google device, right? In terms of shading, detail, color palette.
That's right. And designers work meticulously to ensure consistency of meaning and recognition, even with these stylistic variations, which is a massive technical undertaking.
And then there's the often overlooked evolution of emoji keyboards on devices.
Yeah, huge improvements there.
It's a testament to constantly improving user experience, searchability, organization. Early emoji keyboards were often clunky, weren't they? Endless scrolling through unorganized categories. A truly cumbersome experience.
Terrible.
Now, with predictive text that suggests emojis based on your word, intuitively categorized tabs, powerful search functions, finding the right emoji is far more intuitive, seamless.
This evolution reflects a deep understanding of user behavior and the critical, indispensable role emojis now play in daily communication. They are no longer an afterthought or a novelty. They're a central, highly integrated feature of digital input, continually refined for speed and ease of use.
And for those who want to take their digital expression even further, there's the growing capability and increasing interest in creating custom emojis.
Personalization is key.
This allows us to further personalize our digital expression, whether it's for a private group chat among friends or a brand creating unique emojis to capture its specific identity and resonate with its audience.
This trend shows just how much we value individual and community expression in the digital realm. It's about owning a piece of the visual language.
Emojis are truly becoming incredibly versatile, aren't they? Extending far beyond casual messaging into real.
That's a critical area. Beyond the classroom, we're seeing thoughtful discussion about emojis, an accessible design for disabilities, and representing awareness campaigns. For instance, creating emojis that represent different types of disabilities. A person using a wheelchair, a guide dog a hearing aid, HIA can promote profound inclusivity and understanding where words might be cumbersome or less impactful.
They offer that immediate, recognizable shorthand.
Exactly. For complex concepts, fostering broader awareness for health conditions or social causes, like a specific ribbon or colored heart for a particular awareness month. They provide a vital visual language for groups who might benefit from non-textual communication.
And then there's the outright creative aspect, the art of emoji storytelling.
Love this.
This is the fascinating concept of crafting engaging narratives using only emojis, exploring its immense potential as a unique form of symbolic storytelling. It's like a modern form of hieroglyphics, isn't it?
It really is.
Distilling a complex plot, intricate characters, a full spectrum of emotions into a concise, evocative visual sequence. It encourages you, the listener, to experiment with emoji storytelling yourself. Imagine trying to tell the entire plot of your favorite movie, or even a classic fairy tale with just a few lines of emojis. It's a challenge that unlocks incredible creative thinking.
And what's truly fascinating here is how emojis are not just adapting to, but actively enriching various traditional forms of artistic expression, showing their true versatility and inherent symbolic power. In music, we see emojis on album covers, in marketing campaigns, and a burgeoning analysis of emojis even appearing in song titles and lyrics, adding modern, instantly relatable symbolism.
An artist might use a specific emoji to convey the mood of an album.
Or a series of them to tell a mini-story within a music video. It's a contemporary way to convey mood or message for artists in a visually driven world.
And it extends to literature as well. That seems less intuitive.
You'd think so, but there's an emerging analysis of emojis being used in book titles, on covers, and even intriguingly, within storytelling itself. Considering how they might add new layers of meaning, emotional depth, or perhaps appeal to a younger, digitally native audience.
A classic novel reimagined with an emoji-laden title that makes a powerful, often witty statement about modern interpretation.
Could we one day see entire novels composed of nothing but emojis? It's a thought-provoking idea.
Then there's gaming.
Oh, huge in gaming. We see a vibrant showcase of emojis used extensively in video games and gaming culture, enhancing virtual communication and player expression. From expressive emotes in multiplayer games that let players quickly convey reactions or celebrate victories, to status updates in in-game chat, emojis provide quick, non-verbal communication that adds significantly to the immersive social experience.
And perhaps most intriguing of all, you mentioned this idea of using emojis to retell classic silent films.
Yes, reviving a visual, symbolic form of narrative for a new generation. It's a profound full-circle moment, isn't it? From early visual communication and the dawn of cinema to new visual communication in the digital age, emojis are proving to be remarkably adaptable tools for narrative.
Okay, but not everything in the world of emojis is sunshine and rainbows, though, is it?
Definitely not.
There's a candid discussion to be had about emoji-related controversies, sometimes referred to as the dark side. This includes genuine privacy concerns regarding emoji data, what does our emoji usage say about us, and maybe more importantly, who is collecting and analyzing that information.
A very valid concern.
And perhaps more visibly, instances of cultural appropriation or insensitivity in emoji design, where symbols intended to represent one culture are used or designed by another without proper understanding or respect.
It's crucial to briefly touch upon the very real ethical considerations and responsibilities that come with developing and deploying a global visual language like this. Companies and platforms are increasingly analyzing emoji usage to infer sentiment, demographic data, even predict consumer behavior. This raises serious questions about data ownership, informed consent, the ethical implications of profiling users based on their expressive choices.
And the design side, representation.
Huge issues there. The Unicode Consortium, for instance, grapples with immense issues of representation, trying to ensure that emojis reflect the incredible diversity of global users' skin tone, gender, occupations, cultural symbols. The initial rollout of skin tone modifiers back in 2015, while celebrated, was itself a response to significant backlash over the perceived homogeneity of early emojis.
Right, the default yellow.
Exactly. And even then, questions arose. Why only yellow as a default? What about diverse hair colors, body types, culturally specific gestures? When a new emoji is proposed, it undergoes rigorous review to avoid perpetuating stereotypes or causing offense. This meticulous process highlights the immense power these small symbols wield and the careful thought required in their continued evolution, aiming for inclusive global representation.
And then on a much later note, we have the universal humor and misunderstandings. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we?
Oh, constantly.
Let's share some hilarious examples of emoji misunderstandings, autocorrect fails, general blunders that inevitably lead to comedic relief in our digital communication. The classic example of sending a completely innocent emoji that is then hilariously or awkwardly misread as something entirely inappropriate by the recipient, that's a tale as old as digital time. I remember a friend trying to use the squinting face with tongue to be playful, but it landed as intensely suggestive in a work chat. Total cringe.
Oh, absolutely. The sheer volume of these incidents makes them a shared digital experience. The face with unamused eyes, for instance, that can be utterly devastating when used in the wrong context or taken the wrong way. What might be mild exasperation to one person is a cutting insult to another.
And autocorrect.
Don't get me started on autocorrect. The simple act of a phone predicting the wrong emoji based on a word can lead to truly legendary blunders. I once saw someone try to send a message about a beach day with a seemingly innocent sun emoji, but autocorrect swapped it for the eggplant right before hitting send.
No.
Instant, unrecoverable chaos. These moments, while sometimes embarrassing, are universal. A shared experience that actually makes emojis more human, highlighting the limitations and delightful absurdities of even the most expressive visual language. They remind us that context and intent are everything.
And you, our listener, I'm sure you've had your own funny emoji mix-up moments. Please tell me you have. Moving on to pop culture icons and memes, we have a kind of Hall of Fame segment for emojis, a countdown or highlight reel of the most memorable emoji moments in pop culture, where a specific emoji perfectly captured a cultural moment or a collective feeling that then went viral.
Like the face with tears of joy becoming synonymous with internet humor for years.
Exactly. Or the skull emoji being used ironically to mean I'm dead from laughter.
This naturally leads into a fascinating exploration of popular emoji memes and their dynamic role in internet culture. Emojis aren't just used for direct communication, they become integral parts of viral humor, constantly repurposed, remixed to create entirely new layers of meaning. The crying laughing face, the skull, the side-eye emoji, the unamused face, they all have lives far beyond their original literal intent, serving as punchlines, reaction images, shorthand for complex online sentiments, and countless memes.
They become cultural artifacts.
Absolutely. They illustrate how emojis become intrinsic parts of internet culture, evolving fluidly with it, reflecting and shaping the very language of online interaction, cultural artifacts of the digital age.
Finally, let's look at a really interesting aspect: generational gaps and niche interests in emoji use. There's a clear comparison to be made across age groups.
Very clear.
We can have a detailed discussion on how different generations adopt, interpret, and use emojis, creating distinct communication styles. What might be a perfectly standard, straightforward emoji for a teenager could be completely unknown, used ironically, or even misinterpreted by someone older, and vice versa.
This is truly fascinating because emoji usage can sometimes define, or at least reveal, distinct generational identities and communication styles. Younger generations, often digital natives, might use a higher volume of emojis or use them in more complex sequences,
Yeah.
almost creating mini sentences or nuanced emotional narratives where each emoji adds a subtle layer.
While older generations
Might use fewer emojis, prefer more literal interpretations, or be less familiar with their nuanced, evolving, often ironic meanings. For them, a skull emoji simply means death, not I'm dying of laughter.
Right.
And then, amidst all this, there's the intriguing world of the emoji collector.
People collect emojis.
Insights into enthusiasts who actively collect rare and unique emojis, or even hunt for them. It's like stamp collecting or coin collecting for the digital age. A testament to the diverse and passionate ways people engage with these symbols, recognizing their cultural and aesthetic value beyond mere utility.
It truly shows how deeply ingrained, versatile, and profoundly multifaceted these simple symbols have become in the very fabric of our lives, reflecting the human condition in pixelated form. #tag outro. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our deep dive into the emoji evolution. What an incredible journey we've taken. From Shigetaka Kurita's humble, pixelated designs in late 90s Japan, born of necessity, inspired by manga, to a truly global phenomenon that has revolutionized communication in ways we are still actively discovering and adapting to.
It's been quite the ride.
We've seen how these little pictures have changed not just what we say, but fundamentally how we express emotion, how they're effortlessly bridging cultural divides that once seemed impassable, and even how they're influencing everything from high art to everyday fashion. We've explored their surprising psychology, navigated their tricky etiquette, and even touched upon their undeniable role in the serious spheres of politics and business. They're controversial, they're funny, and they are, without a doubt, powerfully transformative. As we wrap up this deep dive, maybe consider this provocative thought: how these seemingly simple symbols are not just changing what we say, but potentially how we think, how we feel, how we connect, even how we subconsciously process and understand the world around us in this increasingly visual landscape.
That's a deep question.
What new depths of human experience will emojis help us explore next? And how will they continue to shape the very fabric of our communication? Perhaps even becoming a universal Rosetta Stone for future generations trying to decode our digital age. The evolution, it seems, is far from over. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey of discovery. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and above all, keep communicating, perhaps with a few more thoughtful emojis in your arsenal now. Until next time, stay curious.